If you've been scrolling through social media and suddenly see tons of amazing 3D artworks that all follow the same theme, chances are that's a 3D challenge. And today, I want to share everything I know about 3D challenges, why you should join, what mindset you need, and how to actually win. Right now, I've just finished participating in Chasm's Call, a huge 3D challenge hosted by Punisher, so it's the perfect time to talk about this. So what is a 3D challenge? For anyone who's not familiar, a 3D challenge is an event where artists from around the world create 3D artworks based on a specific theme or set of rules, usually within a deadline. Sometimes it's a still render, but most of the time, like in Punisher's challenges, it's a short animated scene. But a challenge can be at any size or magnitude. Besides big worldwide challenges like Punisher, they also happen within small communities, local groups, schools, online classes and beginners group, or even just among friends challenging each other to make art, which I think is one of the best ways to compete while having fun. Whether it's global or private, the goal is the same. Push yourself to create something within a set time. These challenges are open to everyone, whether you're a beginner or a pro, and they're a great way to practice, learn new skills, and get inspired by seeing how others interpret the same idea. So why should you join a 3D challenge? First of all, 3D challenges are the most effective way to learn and grow as a 3D artist. Because unlike watching endless tutorials or starting random projects that never get finished, a 3D challenge forces you to complete something within a deadline and to follow specific guidelines. These guidelines might include a theme, a fixed camera angle, or even a certain movement. That helps keep everyone on the same playing field and makes it possible to compare the artworks. And because there are limits, you're forced to think creatively within those boundaries. For me personally, most of my biggest learning moments in 3D came from doing challenges. I had to push myself to learn animation, VFX, better composition, concept design, and more, just to compete. Because if you want to stand out among thousands of entries, you need to push your skills way beyond what you would usually do in day-to-day practice. Challenges also make you a better problem solver, and honestly, that's one of the most important skills as a 3D artist. Because in 3D, you'll constantly face problems, technical issues, creative blocks, software weirdness, and you need to figure out solutions. And finally, by participating in a challenge, you also get to compare your work with others, and that's a huge part of learning. Seeing what others do can open your eyes to new approaches, and feedback from the community can help you grow even faster. Now let's be honest, besides learning, a huge reason people join 3D challenges is for rewards. After all, artists also have to eat. Many challenges offer amazing prizes, software licenses, gear, cash, and that alone can be very motivating. But beyond the prizes, visibility is a huge deal. Getting noticed on social media means thousands of people, including industry professionals, will see your work, and if you make it into the top 100, that's an even bigger opportunity. From there, job offers, freelance gigs, and collaborations can happen. Punisher's challenges, for example, are some of the biggest in the 3D world, and many artists have gotten jobs or commissions because of the exposure they got from participating. So if you want to grow as an artist and also open doors for your career, challenges are one of the best ways to do that. Not only that, you can make connections. You'll meet other artists, make friends, and become part of a community that supports and motivates you. And if that is not enough, you are building your portfolio. A finished piece from a challenge is a polished work you can add to your collection and show clients or employers. Alright, let's talk about the real deal. How do you actually win? or get into the top 100. After joining many challenges, I've taken all the aspects that come together to make a great 3D art piece and broken them down into 5 simple elements. These are what I use to guide and evaluate my own work, so I know where it stands in terms of quality. The 5 elements are art quality, technical quality, storytelling, animation, and VFX. These 5 elements will be connected to each other by a very important aspect, and that is timing. Now let's talk about them a little bit. First, there's art quality. Art quality is about how good your piece looks visually, the overall aesthetic. This includes things like composition, lighting, color theme. Everything should feel balanced and intentional. The shapes and layout should guide the viewer's eye to the important parts. The colors and lighting should match the mood and theme of your scene. A piece with strong art quality will look polished, professional, and pleasing to the eye, even if the models themselves are simple. Personally, I think art quality is the most important of the 5 elements. But at the same time, it's also one of the most overlooked and intimidating parts for many 3D artists, especially those who've never had any formal art training. If you want to start learning the basics, I recommend checking out these videos. They explain fundamental art principles like color, value, and composition in a super clear and straightforward way. Even just a little understanding of these basics can drastically improve your 3D art. Next, there is also technical quality. Technical quality reflects the complexity and intricacy of your 3D scene, which showcases the craftsmanship and skill behind your art. This includes areas like clean modeling, good geometry, intricate details, and smart use of techniques such as modifiers, particle systems, geometry nodes, or shaders. It's all about how well built and well structured your scene is, even if people never see the wires behind it. However, technical quality isn't just about how detailed a scene is, it's also about working efficiently. Instead of placing every object manually, procedural techniques can automate repetitive tasks, such as distributing assets across a landscape or generating patterns with geometry nodes. Working smart rather than working hard allows artists to focus on creativity rather than tedious tasks. Now let's talk about my favorite element, storytelling. Storytelling is what your piece is trying to say, what idea or feeling you are trying to communicate. It can be a full story with characters and action, or it can be something simple, like a unique setting that makes people pause and think. A piece with good storytelling makes people curious. It raises questions or conveys a mood. Without storytelling, even a beautiful scene can feel empty or meaningless. Next, animation. Great animation brings a scene to life, whether it's characters moving or just a dramatic camera movement. Animation can add energy, emotion, or tension to your scene. The best animations are often creative and sometimes with unique movements that make them stand out, so custom animation is a huge plus. For my Chasm Skull piece, I use AI video motion capture to capture realistic movement and retargeted it onto my 3D character. I wouldn't have forced myself to learn these techniques without participating in challenges. Lastly, VFX. VFX are all the extra elements that bring your scene to life. Things like fog, smoke, dust, magic effects, or destruction details. These can add atmosphere and realism to a scene, but they need to be used carefully. Too much can ruin the scene, too little can make it feel empty. Well done VFX should support the story and mood, not distract from them. And now the key that ties all 5 elements together: timing. This means structuring your piece around a powerful impact moment. where every element converges at its peak intensity. Just like a YouTube viewer graph, you want the attention and energy of your short video to peak at that exact moment. This is the best way to leave a lasting impression on the viewer. Now, this is where your style or story can affect this moment. Personally, I prefer calm, peaceful, and atmospheric scenes, so explosions or crazy action wouldn't fit my work. But even in peaceful scenes, the impact moment still needs to exist. It can be subtle, a perfectly timed reveal, a striking color shift, or a dramatic movement. The key is to find your version of that impact moment and make sure it's sharp and intentional. So when planning your scene, ask yourself, where is my impact moment? How do I make sure everything leads up to it? Get that right, and your work will stay in people's minds long after they scroll past. This 5-element rating system, along with utilizing timing, will give you a clear perspective on your art's overall quality. Now, let's talk strategy. In my experience, most people focus on one or two strong areas, usually storytelling and one area of their strength, then spread their effort thin on the rest. That's fine, but the reality is, pieces that push quality across all 5 elements will always be rated higher. Your concept is solid, the technical work is polished, the idea is unique, the animation is impactful, and the VFX are stunning, and timing it all together at an impact moment. In that case, the judges have to rate your piece higher because it checks every box. So why not give it a shot? It might take you further than you expected. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about the mentality you'll need when doing a 3D challenge, because this part is what makes or breaks a lot of people. First off, these challenges take a lot of time. Some people work for months, on top of their day jobs and life responsibilities, and when you pour so much effort into a piece, it's natural to hope that you'll get recognized. But here's the hard truth. Sometimes you won't, and that can feel really frustrating. So how can we prevent this? The key here is balance. Take it seriously enough to grow, but not so seriously that failure breaks you. Like the saying goes, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Go into a challenge aiming to do your best, but also be ready to accept that the outcome might not be what you expect, and that's completely okay. Because even if you don't win, you've gained new skills, added a great piece to your portfolio, and pushed yourself further than you would have otherwise. And honestly, that's the real reward. So to wrap up, here are the key takeaways if you're thinking about joining a 3D challenge. It's one of the best ways to learn fast. It's a way to get exposure and opportunities. Remember and consider the 5 elements: art quality, technical skill, storytelling, animation, and VFX. Best case scenario brings everything to the table. Timing. Mix and match the 5 elements and make that high impact moment count. Keep a balanced mindset. Push yourself, but don't burn out. And that's it. Remember, focus on the long-term process. That's what truly counts. If you're joining Kasim's Call or any other challenge, let me know in the comments what your idea is. And if this was helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.